Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Muhammad Sofwan Maulana Shaleh. My student numbers 1622017. The Honorable Board of Examiners and the Honorable both of my supervisors. I would like to thank Ikip Siliwangi for giving me the opportunity to deliver my thesis defense presentation entitled Teaching Vocabulary in Narrative Text Using Screen Reader for People with Visually Impaired at a special school in Bandung. All right. First of all, why did I take vocabulary? Because as we know, vocabulary is the central of language acquisition, whether that language was first, second, or foreign language. Without the knowledge of vocabulary, it's impossible to understand a language. And why people with visual impaired? Because according to survey performed by World Health Organization in 2013, there are approximately 285 million people with visual impaired, in which 39 million are legally blind. So the question remains, how people with visual impaired could understand, could learn a new language, learn new vocabulary. I would like to explore that, and the tool that I would like to use is assistive technology. Assistive technology is a technology developed to assist many people, such as disabled people. Like people with visually impaired, people with hearing impaired, etc. And one of assistive technology for people with visually impaired is called screen reader. And I would like to use screen reader to explore the possibility of it helps students with visually impaired to learn a new language, learn vocabulary. And there are three objectives of the research, which is to know the scenario, to know the difficulties, and to know the response of this teaching vocabulary in narrative text using screen reader for people with visually impaired in a special school in Bandung. And now, the method I use is a qualitative method, and the design is descriptive qualitative. The three instruments I use to answer the research questions or get the objective of the research are observation sheets to observe the scenario and questionnaire to obtain the student's response, and then the test to determine the student difficulties. And the subject of this research, six students from 11th grade in a special school in Bandung. And then the research procedure. First, I would develop the research proposal, and then after it's been approved by my supervisors, I try to obtain the permission to do the research. After that, I do the research in the research site, and then I gathering the data, analyzing the data. After that, I delivered this result of my research in a thesis format. And the data gathering method, the data analysis first, the data is gathered and then reduce the unnecessary data, because there are so many data that aren't helpful for this research. I gather and collect the data. After that, I organizing the data and then presenting it with narration and tables. Okay, now the result of this research. First, on the previous slide, I said there are three instruments to observe this research. First is the observation sheet, and the research I conducted teaching in I split it into three meetings. First, I delivered the material, which is a narrative text, like the generic structure, the language features, etc. After that, it took about two meetings, I believe, and then I gave the students a test from a Google form. After that, I given them the questionnaire to gather their response, and the result from those three instruments is present in your screen right now. Sorry if it's not too detailed. You can ask me about the detail of the result of this research in the sidang. Unfortunately, I cannot deliver them in this presentation. So the result from the observation sheets during the first and second meeting, the students are very enthusiastic. They are uh, interested to my lesson, to the lesson given to them. They ask many questions. They discuss among themselves, and they did the game that I present to them excitedly. Sorry. Okay. Uh, so from the questionnaire is split into four sections, consists of 20 questions. It measures student satisfaction, students' motivation, their difficulties. They having difficulties of paying attention, etc. And you can see the result of the question on your screen. Uh, the from the questionnaire, it can be seen that the level of satisfaction of the students is average. The students can comprehend the material faster. So, and they disagree that they have difficulties. So it means that they don't have any difficulties in the lesson. And from the test, you can see that the average score from the test are 7.1, and the result from the first to the second test were degrading, because the student is having lack of preparation. Why is that? Because in the observation sheet, they it can be seen that they have difficulties understanding the material. The difficulty of the material is too high, I believe. Okay, so the difficulties of doing this research. First, I thought this would be a simple one. I mean, using screen reader to assist people with visually impaired, like myself, to learn English. But uh, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I could not find any previous studies regarding this. So I don't. I know maybe it is the first research regarding this topic, using screen reader to help visually impaired students learn language. But the literature is hard to gather. So this is the conclusion of the research. Okay. Um, it can be concluded that the students were enjoying the method, and they agree that they can comprehend the material. They have no difficulties in learning. I mean, from the questionnaire, and the average score from of the students were 7.1 because the lack of preparation. And this is this suggestions. I have three suggestions for the students, for the teachers, and for other researchers. First, for the teachers, I suggest to promote assistive technology in doing the teaching, especially if teachers teach people with special needs, such as people with visual impaired, people with hearing impaired, etc. And they should promote many assistive technology to help them to have a more valuable learning experience. And for the students, these researchers suggest to use assistive technology and tell the teachers if they don't know about it, because in my experience there are still many teachers who don't know about assistive technology. And for other researchers, these researchers suggest to do more in-depth research regarding this topic: visual impaired, assistive technology, and the use of assistive technology to help visually impaired students to learn language, such as foreign language or second language. That's all of my presentation. My apology if I have mistakes in delivering this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.